Hey, ladies. Can y'all hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Awesome. Oh, hello. Happy Monday. We just got to our Airbnb that we're going to be at for a week here in Austin. And it's crazy. Like we got here like an hour and a half ago. So I've been setting up and had to find like where's the right space, lighting, all the things. How is everyone's Monday going?
Great.
Great.
Where in the world is Katie?
I'm in Austin.
You made it.
Yeah, we did. I don't know if you all know it's Bridget Bitch on Instagram. Bridget and Blue, they're in Raising Private Money with Amy Majuri. Anyways, Bridget does like all these, they have several rentals here in Austin, and she does like really fun, beautiful, crazy stuff. We're actually in probably their most thanks. Just we're in like their most chill one. And they live right next door. So that'll be fun to get to be around some MTR and STR experts. But yeah. Okay. I want to know on a scale of 1 to 10, how is your Monday going? 1 is not at all. It's been ugh. 10 is we're rocking it. This is amazing. I'm super pumped and excited to be here. Where are you falling? All right. We've got some 5s. Cheryl, I see you're at a 4. We hope we can raise that today, lady.
Oh, yeah, I
Okay.
will.
Good, good.
I already
Okay,
have
good.
since I joined the call. It's just my W-2. I can't stand it.
Well, we're gonna we're gonna help you with that. So
Okay.
lots of ladies are at 8, 9. Crystal said she's super excited to be here. Sabrina, welcome to your first call. That's so exciting. Welcome, welcome. We are excited to have you. You're at a 2. That is totally okay. We're going to try and raise your energy and at least end your Monday off on a good note. And Caitlin, thank you so much for inviting Sabrina, and Kimmy. Welcome as well. We love that. It's so fun to see this group growing. I will tell you that when I joined Sub 2 with Pace Morby, my husband actually joined Sub 2 with Pace Morby about a year ago. And I sat and watched him do some cool stuff in real estate. And I was wrapping up one business and trying to figure out what my next move was. So I decided, wow, this sounds like a really cool thing. So I jumped in with him late May. And in June, I was like, where are the ladies? Why are we not hanging out? Now, Sub 2 has an incredible women's group who many of you know some of the leaders if you're in Sub 2. So I did find that, but I decided to launch these weekly calls every Monday night to be a way for you to connect with each other. Here's the reality. Only 31.6% of investors are women. This is not okay. I'm not cool with it. I hope that you're not either. So what we want to do here is build a table, but not just build a table. We want to expand the table constantly. And of course, there are so many other amazing female leaders out there doing great things. I know I was talking to a friend, Mia, today, who was just at Heather Blankenship's. I know some of us know each other from Amy Majuri's group, some of us from Pace, Vina, here's the thing. I don't care where you come from. You may not even be in a mentorship for real estate investing, and that is totally okay. The point is, though, is that you find other women that you can partner up with. You find other women that you can do this business with. I was talking to a woman this afternoon, Chris, who I know from Amy's group, and we were just talking about how we have amazing, wonderful, beautiful women in our lives, but they do not get it all the time when we talk about real estate. They do not see what we're doing. It's just different. So if you in any other part of your life are like, I am the odd lady out, I'm this weirdo that's talking about real estate, this is the place for you. So quick thing. Okay, Kimberly, yes. Scale of 1 to 10. How are you doing? 1 is, 10 is amazing and awesome and wonderful. Okay, I am super excited. I was a minute or two late, but I am so excited. Irene is not here today, but she has connected with this amazing woman, Jill Jensen. And I was reading Jill's bio, and y'all, I was just like, I need to know this woman. She's such a badass. I want to be friends with her. And so I hope that all of you do as well. So let me quickly read Jill's bio, and then I'll turn it over to her, and then we'll do some networking. So Jill Jensen is an entrepreneurial force who has been in sales since 2010. Her journey into real estate began in 2022. She invests in mobile home parks and directed her capital towards funds for multifamily properties. Jill is the chief investment officer. So badass. Or I'm going to mute you. She is the chief investment officer at Sonos Capital and excels in raising capital and teaching others how to raise capital as well. In her early 20s, Jill established her own pest control company, expanding nationwide, generating multiple millions of dollars annually. She is a dedicated single mom to 2 little girls, a driven visionary, and she is on the road to making a lasting impact on those that she does business with. So Jill, welcome. I'm going to turn it over to you. I am going to pin you, and then I'm going to make you a co-host just in case you have anything to share. I say that. How do I do that?
Very carefully. Just kidding.
I know, right? Well, it's so funny because when I pinned you, I'm going to remove the pin for a second.
Okay.
I like see the 3 dots, and then I didn't see the 3 dots.
You are the co-host.
Okay, good.
You did it.
Got it?
Yeah.
Awesome. Welcome, Jill. First of all, a lady wearing pink. Everyone knows pink is like my total jam, my favorite color. So I love it. Welcome to Trailblazers. We are so excited to learn from you and to meet with you and to see what you can teach us and how we can work with you and do cool stuff.
Do I just get like free reign? Or
Yeah.
like question? I just get to go for it.
Oh. I mean, I can ask you questions, but you're totally good. If you want to take over, we'll let you do that for the next 20, 25 minutes, 30 minutes or so.
Well, I'm going to talk a little bit, but then we're just going to dive in once I start talking. Throw your questions out there, just interrupt me or whatever, or put in the side chat what it is you're working on so I know how to best direct this topic or where you're getting stuck. Because there's different aspects that I could kind of train or teach on that's been helping me. So I want to aim it towards like, what do other people's needs? Let's see. Finding deals and private money lending. Okay. Well, money's my favorite thing to talk about. So we'll just start there. I got this position at this fund for this company because of two questions. If you're going to write down two things, it's these two questions. Anyone you talk to, whether they're in real estate or not, ask them what they do for a living, or real estate. What do you have to offer? And what do you need in your business? Or what do you need to get out of your W-2? I just make friends with anyone and everyone. And especially in rooms like this, where it's okay, everybody in the side chat, first put what you have to offer. And this can be anything from your W-2, the skill sets you have with communicating or tech, or I have someone else in sub 2 that's doing my videography stuff. So putting that on the side, and then also what you need. And there's a trick. Are you ready for the trick? Here we go. So over the last 14 months, I've been in sub 2, and I have only talked to one seller ever. And it was my first nightly dial. And I was like, there's got to be better ways to make money. I've knocked thousands of doors and sold thousands of pest control accounts. I can't knock doors or answer phones. That's just me personally. We need some of you to do that in order for this business to work. But for me, I was like, there's just got to be another way. So after realizing that first call, I was like, okay, I got to go down this avenue of connecting with more people, not necessarily the deals. So favorite book that I suggest, it's pretty easy. Who, not how. Even if you just read the cover, that's enough. You got to figure out who you need in your business. Don't try to figure out how to do everything. Women, we like to just control it all. You have to be able to be like, okay, as long as it's getting taken care of, whatever it is, then I can focus on what it is that I'm good at. So I talk to people every single day. Pace talks about this all the time, about making more friends. And so I talk to at least 4 new people every single day. Sometimes it's 6. And I've been doing this for over a year. And so a little trick I do in my phone, after I talk to everyone, I do little emojis next to their name. I know this is kind of tedious, but I'm going to tell you why. So here's Craig. Next to Craig's name, he has a little money bag. He has a peace sign, and he has little houses. That means he's got money. So he's a private money lender. He's in sub 2, and he is also one of my investors in my mobile home parks. So over the last 14 months of talking to people every single day, when I need something, I just type in that little emoji, like the money bag, and I have a whole list of private money lenders right there. Not on a spreadsheet, not in some random spot. That's just something that's worked for me on how to find people, from my phone. So the reason I tell you that is because that leads into how this last month, after taking this position, I was able to raise $950,000 in 4 weeks. So yeah, that sounds like a big number. It took 14 months of connecting to be prepared to be able to do that. So my history with real estate were my first properties were mobile home parks. And I had a problem, which was I had money and I was able to be a private money lender, but I didn't trust myself, let alone anyone else with my money. So it just sat. And I was like, okay, I don't want to learn from a poor person that needs my money. I'm saying that politely. I want to learn as a private money lender, someone who's experienced and doing this with their own funds. And so I've been able to work one-on-one with Pace on how to properly lend your money. So what we want to think about is the story that either whoever you're connecting with, is it the seller or is it someone you're trying to raise capital from? What is their story? Stop trying to pitch them on what you want them to do, but how can you overcome what they're thinking about? So as I raise capital from some of these investors, they're thinking, okay, how do I trust you? How much am I going to make? And how long? Also, like, what's my security? So if you can overcome either the seller or who you're raising capital from, their concerns, they're going to be a lot more likely to follow through with connecting with you or doing deals. So I found someone who's really good at leveraging other people's money. So people bring him the deal, and the only thing that he does is negotiate. He doesn't do the deal, and he does have money, but he raises the money. So he underwrites it, he does the negotiating, and then he comes to me and says, hey, I need 125K for 4 months at this percentage. And I'm like, okay, cool. The biggest thing, there's 2 reasons why I'm okay not learning how to underwrite or how to figure out how to do the deal. First, it's loan to own. Don't lend on a deal you're not willing to own if the deal goes south. So let's take a fix and flip, for example. And the reason I tell you these things is because some of you are raising capital, some of you are doing deals. I'm just giving you the experience of the lender and what our concerns are so that you know how to overcome them when you start raising capital. So I was like, okay, loan to own. If I have someone that needs that 125, but I don't know how to underwrite, I want to make sure I have collateral that is worth more than my loan. And how that works is, and this was me just getting started. So I was leveraging other people's knowledge. So we're going to take a fix and flip, for example. I invested in someone's fix and flip. Once again, my middleman did it. He was the negotiator. Someone brought him the fix and flip. He came to me and asked for the money. And if that fix and flip flops and my 125K is gone, I don't want to be in first position on a house that's not done and my money's gone. So I have leveraged 2 of their other properties that are cash flowing. So if their fix and flip flops, then I've actually just acquired 2 of their other properties. Once again, I don't know how to do that. I just pay a middleman. So he gets a piece of the pie. I'm not making as high of a return, but I don't have to underwrite and my money's making me money and my collateral is worth more than my loan. Does that click for anyone? Mm-hmm. Okay. So there's lots of comments. I'm not reading any of them. Let's see. Do you want me to read through these or does anyone have?
Yeah, Jill, I'm happy to do that for you. So
Okay.
One person said, how did you find such a middleman? I think that's a really interesting thing to
Yes.
ask.
Every single day I'm talking to
I'm
people
one.
and I say, what do you have and what do you need? And they tell me. So I work with people who are really good at one thing. You can have those people who are good at wraps and fix and flip and all these different things, which is awesome for them. For me to feel confident in working with someone, they have to stay in their lane and be good at their one thing. So when I connected with this gentleman, he's like, this is the only thing I do. People bring me deals, I negotiate, I underwrite, I just raise capital and I get a piece of the pie. That took 4 months of talking to people every single day in sub 2. So make more friends, like Pace says, connect with them. Also being strategic on how to keep in touch with them. That's why I had that little technique of like, okay, they've got money, they do multifamily, they're different types of quality. I have a little camera.
Yeah, welcome to the Get Creative podcast. I've got Kimberly, my homie from.
Do we have an extra guest?
Will everyone mute themselves? Thank you. I swear one day I'm going to learn how to do all of that.
Yeah, we're good.
Thank you.
So yeah, just really comes down to making more friends and connecting. And this is kind of, I don't want to say off topic, but it goes along with it. I do a lot of networking events, and you can go listen to all the speakers. In the end, you can actually just go watch all their YouTube videos and learn the same stuff. I go there to connect with the people. It's great to make friends, but you have to be really strategic how you're going to keep in contact with them or how you keep that relationship going. So that's something I tell people to focus on, is figure out your system in keeping those relationships together. So now we're going to shift into mobile home parks and educate you a little bit on that area, and then we can open it up to questions. So I first was a private money lender, which I lent my money and I got my returns back. Then Pace likes to refer to it as a pimp, a private money partner. And instead of just getting capital, like an interest, I started getting equity in these deals. And with equity, it's how you generate wealth over time. It's also how you can get tax advantages. So I had someone that was like, do you want to do this deal on these mobile home parks? Once again, that's all this guy does. Mobile home parks, West Virginia. He's really good at it. He's got a track record, a lot of unfortunate hard lessons that he doesn't have to go through with me now because he's learned them. And so I lent on this deal, and the gentleman hadn't raised rents in 50 years. So he was charging $60 a unit, and a unit is just where someone can like park their house. So their rent was $60 a month. We got it off market, some 85-year-old man. So first 30 days, we raised the rents to $150. And then 6 months later, we raised the rents to $250. And the market value or the market rate is $300. So we are still $50 under the comps, basically. After the 6th month, we're already past that point. We haven't had issues with people paying rent. We're going to refinance in about 4 months. So 12 months, my money's sitting in someone else's account. And why this is significant is because I get my money back in 12 months, but then I'm a 10% equity partner. So even though I got my money back, this thing cash flows $10,000 a month. I will get a $1,000 check indefinitely until we sell it. So let's say we hold on to it for 10 years. That's $120,000. Let's say we sell it in 10 years for $2 million. That's another $200,000. So $335,000 for letting $106,000 sit in someone else's account for 12 months. So when we're looking at private money lending deals compared to being a partner, I might get a higher return faster in just being the lender. But if you want to get out of your W-2 and start creating generational wealth over a long period of time, that's how you do it. Now, fast forward to today, I came across someone and I just asked, so what do you do for a living? This guy's like, oh, I have a fund for mobile home parks. He's not in sub 2. And I was like, oh, cool. Tell me about your fund. So he proceeds to tell me he has no idea I'm in real estate. He has no idea I own mobile home parks. And so then I proceed to tell him that's awesome because I actually own mobile home parks myself. And I've invested in multifamily properties in a fund myself. So he's like, okay, let's potentially collaborate. We kind of had to like vet each other. He's like, do I trust you? I had to fly out to Arizona multiple times to like meet him. And so now I'm in this position where the only thing I do is raise capital. And people ask, like, what do you want to do? I'm like, the only thing I want to do is raise capital. That's cash is king. That's just where the money's at. And my previous business was door-to-door sales. So I knocked doors for 8 years selling pest control. And then I started building teams. So I started training other people how to knock doors. And then I started recruiting managers, and they started recruiting sales reps to go knock doors. And then I had business partners. Once I had business partners, we all had like franchises, and everybody kind of ran their own. But I was training our partners. So now we had customers on top of our sales reps. And the reason I say this is because now I'm doing the same structure within my fund with raising capital. So now I'm getting good at raising capital. I'm going to start training and teaching other people how to raise capital and become partners in the fund as well. So not only do I invest myself, I also really get excited training and teaching about how to also raise capital. So the fund itself, we're going to talk a little bit about returns on a park, and then raise your hand and we can start asking more questions. If someone was to invest in a mobile home park, there are 3 things that I love so much. Number 1, affordable housing is in a crisis. So living in a mobile home park is awesome for people who are struggling. Large returns for both investors and us within the fund, and tax advantages. Because when I was a private money lender, I wasn't getting tax advantages just being a lender. You have to have actual real estate assets. And so mobile home parks, if you're an investor in the park, you actually get significant benefits off of just being the lender as well. So we get these off of, we do a lot of creative deals, seller finance, because a lot of these older men purchase their parks the same way. And we have a game plan. So we acquire it year 1, year 3, we refinance, and then we sell it year 5. We pay out quarterly distributions. So people are getting paid over the span of time. You're not waiting 5 years to see your money. So current park, it's 60% occupied. There's 102 units. 40% needs homes. So we're going to bring in 40 homes, and then we're going to sell them all. Our business structure and our model is to sell all of the homes, and we just want to be collecting rent off of the unit that every house is sitting on. So it's currently cash flowing $183,000 a year. Once we bring in those 40 homes and we sell them, it'll be cash flowing $320,000 a year. Simply put, we just own an expensive parking lot. So we're not filling it with tenants. We're not fixing toilets. All we do is have people renting dirt, a slab of cement from us, low overhead. And then we refinance at year 3. So everybody gets their about 70% of their money back. And then we sell it at year 5. Placing your money in a fund, at least ours, is a 10% preferred return. We split cash flow 50-50. And then when we sell the park, it's also 50-50, which is awesome because I had my money in a mobile home park and I was like, yes, I'm a 10% equity partner. And then I go over here and I'm like, shoot, at least I know this now, because that's where my money's going to go in a 50-50 partnership instead of 10. Those guys just got lucky. That was a learning experience. So yeah. And the thing with this fund, you guys, I don't know how to underwrite. I don't know how to completely comp. I am definitely learning a lot more. Am I awesome at those things? No. But I came back to the who, not how. If you want to 10x your business, it's actually easier than just 2xing your business, because it's about finding the right partnerships. So if you really want to get out of your W-2, or you really want to like scale, it comes down to having a team. You can't make money on your own. And this didn't happen overnight. This was a lot of manifesting, a lot of thinking about what I really wanted. And the whole time I'm just like, I just want to raise capital because everybody needs it. And I also had like the skill set previously. Now it's just like, okay, now I just got to shift focus to a different model. So if someone was to invest $100,000 in this park that I'm going to be finished raising capital for the end of this week, your return would be, you will profit $240,000. So you invest 100K, you make 239. So by the end of year 3, you'll have $340,000 back. If someone's to invest 250K in this park, it would be close to a 600K profit because of how it's structured. You also have like those tax advantages. So the amount you're investing is close to the amount you can write off over that 5-year span. So with mobile home parks, a single family house depreciates over 27 years. In mobile home parks, it's 15. So you're able to write off a lot more, a lot sooner. And a simple way to comp a park is, if you were to buy a house for, I don't know, let's say $300,000, and the comps are $500,000, that's a $200,000 gap. Like, we would all consider that's an awesome deal. We're going to look at the cash flow. So if you purchase a park and they're charging $300 to park their house there a month, yet the comps are $500, that's an awesome gap, which means, okay, there's a lot of growth for equity, because as soon as we can raise those rents to market value, that's when we want to sell, and we can sell for a much higher margin. And one last example of why I love the affordable housing area is it really is helping the community. You can easily come in and take this land and put up townhouses or a neighborhood. But as we all know, average house costs $400,000. And a mobile home, a modular home, you can buy one for $35,000. And an apartment complex for a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom, it's going to cost $2,000, where a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom renting a unit from us at market value is $500. So the people that are getting pushed out of their homes, they now have to go rent. And so people are raising rents on them. Well, what about those people that can't afford that apartment complex? They can't afford $2,200 for a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom, where it used to be $800, $1,100. That's why we've kept this little mobile home park as kind of a niche. It's high demand, so it's easy to fill up those parks. And it really is also giving back to people kind of in those tough situations. So there's a lot of reasons why I like mobile home parks, but that kind of gives you guys a nutshell about me, my backstory on real estate, where I'm at. So now, with all of that out there, I'm going to open it up to questions. So feel free to raise your hand, chime in, ask me questions. Yeah.
Chill while people are waiting to raise their hands. We have quite a few in the chat. So the first one that I want to ask is, when you're selling at the 5-year mark, who's the target audience that's buying these?
That is a great question. So the fund that I work with, we have brokers. So you and I won't even see the park on the market because we have brokers who already know the investors that want to purchase them. Who, not how, remember? It's who you know.
Yeah. One more question, and then Caitlin, I'll let you get to your question because I know you have something specific. Cheryl just asked, like, what are the actual costs for owning the mobile home? Like insurance, what does your liability look like? Are there, HOA fees? Like what does all of that look like from the ownership side for you?
That's a great question. It's just like owning your own home. You have to take care of the different amenities around, like the home itself, inside the house, around the home, but not the actual property or the amenities. We do offer our park packages for like their internet and their cable and stuff. And so we can come in, and it's actually really interesting because these internet companies get these tax advantages. So we're actually able to get it for free. And then we just charge $59 for them to have internet and their cable and these different packages. So that's like, we're not always able to raise rents a lot, but it's like, okay, that's another way we're able to create those margins. They also love the fact that those type of things are already set in stone, set in place. So they take care of their own utilities and those types of things. We keep up on all the amenities. So like the roads, the grass, we have parks, pavilions, things like that. So.
Caitlin.
Okay, so my husband and I are like brand new investors. And I have a TC business that I'm working up and I'm building up, and I'm part of, like a local women's real estate group in Oregon. And the leader of the group yesterday posted, or 2 days ago posted, like, I need PML. And so I was like, because my husband and I have been like, should we just kind of find something to do, to practice and learn? And he jokingly 3 days ago was like, well, do you want to be an investor? And I was like, no, just like, who are you talking to? And then this opportunity comes up. So, it's tiny. It's like nothing compared to what you're doing, but it's a fix and flip. She comped it too high, I think, by a lot, which I feel like happens a lot. So she's getting a hard money loan to come in and buy it cash. And then she wants $35,000 from us to help cover her closing costs and just have like as gap funding.
Okay.
So the recommendation and she wants us to be a lender, not a partner. And she's offering 15%. So like, it's not a lot, but it's we feel like a safe way to like do this with somebody I know personally. I'm going to see her Wednesday. She's the leader of our women's real estate group. I'm like, I feel like there's some good like people advantages, but then I also hear the like Mel Palmer numbers don't lie, like don't do something stupid. And so one of our mentors, he's a PML, and he was like, if it were me, I would cross collateralize this. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what that means. So what do
How do you approach it?
Yeah. Like, what's the question and how do I?
So this is your hard-earned money. So do not be afraid to be like, what happens if this deal goes south and how do I get paid? Where does my money? Let's just always go to worst case scenario first.
Yeah.
Anything other than that is great, but let's just go to worst case scenario. do you have a time frame of like when it's due and what happens if it's not back on that date?
Mm-hmm. Her timeline is 6 months to flip it. And then if it doesn't sell for what she wants, she plans to midterm rental it because it's close to a hospital and a university.
Okay, so then how would you get your money if she does a midterm rental, if you're not a partner?
I don't know.
See, this is why we're just talking about it. So
Yeah,
then you
yeah.
can ask that question.
Yeah.
'Cause
Okay.
where's my 35? And are you okay to become a partner at 6 months on a midterm rental if she's not able to give you your $35,000 back? It's just a thought. So, because
Yeah.
it's like, okay, how do you get paid? Okay, if it turns into a midterm rental, where does that money come from? Does she have some type of collateral? And if it's like, so I'm going to give the example of the fix and flip that me and my partner Jason did with someone. Pace always taught me, well, is it a fix and flip? Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. But where's she coming up with the money for the fix and flip?
From a hard money lender.
Okay. That's where the hard money lending comes from.
Yeah.
Okay. So how are you? Yeah. I would ask her, if this doesn't sell when you want, how is she going to pay the hard money back if she has to hold on to the house?
Right.
And how are you going to get paid back if she doesn't sell it? And if she doesn't sell it on time, there needs to be some type of late fee.
Okay.
So that it's like pressure on her. So an example on the fix and flip we did was, okay, if you get this deal finished and sold at 3 months, we will charge you 13%. If you did it in 4 months, it was 14%. If it took you 5 months to get to the fix and flip and finished, it's 15%. At month 5, we started charging $150 a day late fee. He had 1 month to pay us back. And if he didn't pay us back by 6 months, then we take over the 2 properties that are already cash flowing.
Right.
So that's just an idea of like, okay, the faster you get it done, the lower interest you have to pay, but kind of giving them a buffer. And that's why I asked. She has the hard money lender. So I would ask, how is she setting that up with him? Are you going to pay him before you pay me, or do I get paid before him?
Yeah, she said that she sent her like IRA to him as collateral. But yeah, the specific question of if this turns into an MTR, how do we get paid out?
Yeah.
Like making sure we have that in writing. And like I need to write up my my lending instructions to, get it all in clearly in writing. So I mean, but I know I'm taking a lot of your time. But since our loan is a lot less than your example, is that fair to say like we want equity in one of your cash flowing properties?
No,
Okay. I was like, how do you? Okay.
Because if they believe in it well enough, they'll like the amount of collateral I got on one was a 30 condo unit. That was like way more than my $100,000.
Yeah.
Because he knew, just hold on to something because I know I'm going to get this done in 2 months. Like proof of concept, talk to other people that have gotten their money back from them is a suggestion, being like, okay, who have you done deals with? Have you lent, like, has this hard money lender, have you worked with the hard money lender before? Because that says a lot if the hard money lender has worked with her and is doing another deal again.
Okay.
So 35,000, still a lot of money.
Yeah. I mean, it is. Yeah, it is for us.
End of the day, I'm like, I'll take 35K.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. That was really helpful. Thank you.
Oh, last thing, before you sign anything, have someone else look it over. That's not a part of the deal. So someone within sub 2 that's successful in fix and flip or something.
Okay.
Just be like, hey, will you just look over this with me? I'm new.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Ashley. Lady, we can't hear you.
You must be on mute.
That's
we go.
why I'm on mute. Yes, that's why you cannot hear me. I'm just so excited to see you because I want to meet you in person so many times. I talked to you on the phone, and I
Yes.
work with Sydney on the self storage, and but turns out didn't really go to the end, so that's sad. But I just don't have a chance to meet you in person, so I kind of feel like I try to grab any chance I can meet you, even on the Zoom or so I'm so glad that you brought up that you only connect with the people who are really good at the one thing. I'm so glad you said that because for a long time my superpower is underwriting, pretty much underwriting. Actually, I'm really good at underwriting commercials, even better than the single family because that's what I like to do. So I am actually in the mobile home park mastermind outside of sub two because I really want to buy a mobile home park. That's why where I get the RV park deal. I think I sent it to you a while ago. And so first thing, my question is, what is your buy box? Do you still buy storage or mobile home park? My second thing is, there's a few things, kind of a few career path in front of me. I really don't know which one I should really highly focus on because I'm good at underwriting. I like numbers because my day job is, I'm an accountant. And I'm actually trying to pass top tier certificate this week, but Bo canceled on me because he's out of town. I have to push it later. So I really want to pass that as I want to focus on underwriting. But look, there's a lot of actually certified underwriter told me that even if you get a certificate, currently there's no standard for certified underwriting in the sub two community because there's no standardized how much you charge your service, everything. So initially I was thinking about go to that route. I provide service to people who want underwriting. But a lot of people told me that don't go that route. Nobody want to pay you. They just want to give you a deal. You underwrite it. If it turns out not good, forget about it. So it's kind of so different from the top tier. What is it? What the other one? Top tier Molly's team. A coordinator, TC. So it's very different. So I think, okay, maybe I shouldn't go that route. Then I think about go to raise fund because I feel like I have all these deals, mobile home park or self-storage. I don't have a $2 million. So I have to learn how to raise a fund. And then I talked to Katie a while ago. Katie said, why do you want to go that route? So I think, okay, maybe I shouldn't. And now I just feel like, what should I do? Because I know I'm not good at underwriting, but I don't know what is future for me, out there. Because
you're talking. I think you're going down. Sometimes you have to go down one path to realize that you don't want to do it. So I tell people, shiny object syndrome is not a bad thing to figure out what you don't want to do. It only took me one phone call to realize I don't want to call sellers. And Pace was like, dude, let's start a new door-to-door group. You had an entire business around that. And I'm like, burn the boats. I'm not knocking another door. But I kind of had to I thought, okay, that would be cool. Let's go down that path. I tried it for a month and then I was like, no, this isn't it. This isn't it. But I had to try a few different things. So it's okay to try one and try the other one to see. And so it comes down to finding the person who's really good at what it is you want to do. So it's like, okay, do we work together and see if raising capital is your thing? Or someone has to underwrite these TC deals. I would have to pay someone like you because I'm not good with numbers. So there's definitely still, it's just finding the right who's that really need that. Because that's something, those are two skills. If you could get good at either one of those, you can be very successful at. A lot of people can make phone calls, but if you know numbers, I'm biased. If you're going to ask me, I'm going to just say, go raise capital, because that's where, that's what I like to do. But it's kind of coming down and figuring it out, trying both. Yeah. Do you feel like you lean towards one more than the other?
I still like underwriting because most time I basically just connect to the wholesaler. I connect to lots of wholesalers. They send me a lot of junk deals, but honestly, so I go through really quick, and I saw this might be working. So I would reach out to them. They send me all the files, everything. And from there, that's what I really enjoy doing. Look at the financial statement and dig into the numbers and ask them questions. But then when I get to the negotiation piece, which is I'm stuck at it. Just whenever it's related to talking to people, negotiating, that's the one no, I'm not good at. And then even if there's a deal that sounds like, oh, this might be a really good deal. And even we passed negotiation and I found out I ran into the problem. I don't have money because before when I buy self-storage, I think I would just use SBA loan. But now SBA loan even started to close down that warehouse commercial property as well. So I think, okay, that's a dead end to me. And so I still prefer working with numbers, working with underwriting. And that actually personally, I really enjoy doing bookkeeping and tax. So I might even think about buying a CPA firm, going forward. But I cannot do two things at the same time. I just try to narrow down what I should focus now.
I think one thing is you said you really like underwriting. Now, what's the next thing that's stopping you? And that's the negotiating part. I would start learning how to negotiate, because if you're like, this is a good deal, now if I know how to negotiate with them, then you could just wholesale it, or you could do a lot of things with it. You could bring on partners. So finding the people that are good at negotiating, or start learning that aspect, because that's kind of your tipping point on getting the deal to the next level, is getting comfortable with the negotiating.
That's a good point. I never thought about that. I just, when I get to the part I need to go back and forth, and first I cannot do it because I work in the office. I can't really keep going outside and then making calls. So I always feel like I wish somebody can do that. I would just tell them, this isn't my number. You go make it happen. I just need somebody like that.
And you can. I found one. It just takes a lot of connecting, being like, hey, this is what I can offer. And you want to be the negotiator. I can connect you with Jason, and he's my negotiator. You can either learn from him or be like, hey, I'm good at underwriting. He might be able to give you some direction, because even if you could do what he does, where someone brings you the deal, you learn how to underwrite and negotiate, and then talk to people like me that have the capital already.
Yeah. You led to the other questions that I wonder what is your buy box, because I know that you must have your buy box, because otherwise you would not turn down my deal so quick. So I know I know you do. So I really want to know, since I'm in this realm.
Here's the thing. It comes down to, was yours the self-storage or was yours the mobile home?
So I have both deals coming in different from different people, different sources. The one was I think it was RV park. It was RV park. It was $2.9 million.
Okay. So we only do mobile home parks.
Okay.
I personally look poor if you look at my bank account this month. So I don't have anything to deploy at the moment.
Thank you for telling me the truth.
The single mom's just trying to put food on the table. So if you ask me to lend in something, at least wait till the end of the month.
No, I don't think that's very ideal either.
Yeah, we don't do RVs, only mobile homes. We're in Midwest red states. Like right now, we're really looking at Texas, Alabama, Utah, Arizona, and 50 to 200 units. We don't want a septic tank. We don't want a well.
Lagoon.
City. Yeah. We want city water.
Yeah.
And if it's in that range, like if it's in one of those states and it's that amount of units, like we'll take a look at it. Most of them we get off market. And so the margins are a lot better because we have someone who has access to, we send out mailers to people who aren't even selling their parks. They hold on to them for 6 months or a year. And then they call us and say, hey, I'm like, this week I talked to a guy in Gainesville, Florida, and he's like, hey, I need to sell my park. I'm really sick. I held on to your mailer. So we're able to get parks with greater margins than ones that are like for sale. So sometimes it looks like a good park,
Mhm.
And then I send it to my team because remember, I'm not the expert. You're like, that was a great deal. I'm like, I believe you, but I would have to ask my team
Mhm.
because they
Yeah.
know.
Now it's good to know because you mentioned that the other part you have a 10% pref return, so that's good to know because that's the one key piece is the one I underwrite the deal. I want to know how much you offer to your investors. So
Okay. Yeah. So
that's good to know.
that's the 10% is the preferred return
Mhm.
is being in the fund. And then it's a 50-50 split on cash
Mhm.
flow and 50-50 when we sell the park.
I mean, that's a really good structures to GPs, honestly, because the most of the syndication I saw is 20 to 30% to the GPs at a sale. So that 50, when you said that, I feel like, wow, that's amazing deal you negotiated.
Well, because we like one of the comps sold for $4 million and it only had 57 units. They paid $70,000 a unit.
Wow.
I purchased ours for $2 million and there's 102 units. We paid $19,000 a unit.
Yes, that just listen to numbers that I know for sure definitely work. Will
Right.
work. Yes,
So,
yes.
yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Well, thank you so much, Jill. Hopefully you can connect with you or Jason again. So
Yes.
definitely I need to learn the negotiating skills.
Cool.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Good to
You're
talk to you again.
welcome. Yes.
Thanks, Ashley. Okay, Evita, and then also drop your questions. Jill just dropped her information. I have a hard stop in about 20 minutes, and I have a couple of announcements. So, Evita, we'll go with you, and then Jill will give you anything to wrap up, and then we'll do a couple of other things.
Awesome. Well, thank you. I'm like, thank you both. This is my first time coming onto this. This is awesome. So really appreciate your time. So we'll keep this moving. But I have kind of two questions.
Okay.
So the first is, in any of this or your experience, have you ever had a TC involved in any of this stuff? If so, what was your experience? If not, how, like, what part of your team manages kind of those roles?
We always have TCs. I've personally never talked to any of my TCs because I have
Okay.
middlemen.
That's good.
So once again, I have Jason, who's my negotiator, and he has TCs.
Awesome.
So my negotiator, he can underwrite, but he also has TCs. And then with my fund, that I'm on the real estate, or I'm on the investor side, and the TCs are on like the deal side of it. So I'm not very much help with that one.
That's all right. I'm with some of these girls that are in top tier. So starting the creative TC business. So I'm always curious, and especially like when this came up, I'm like, my first deal was a mobile home. I just got to visit a mobile home park that Pace purchased yesterday. And then this came up and I'm like, maybe this is saying I should try this out. So
Right.
that leads me to my next question, which would
Okay.
be, if you are kind of restarting or going after things, who would be those people that you would go after to meet, and or what would you be looking for to start off? Because obviously right now we're seeing you and you've got this team and all the experience and everything, but like, how does someone insert themselves into this to kind of get going?
The two questions I asked in the beginning, because I was talking to a lot of people, but it was just like, hey, this is really fun getting to know you. Oh, we're almost to the end of the call. What do you do for work? Or what are you looking for in real estate? Where when I get on a call with someone, especially when I'm trying to raise capital, I like to do what's called hold the frame of the call. And so this is a really big tactic in negotiating. So I present myself, hey, I'm Jill. I'm super excited we're on this call. And I give an exact time. I've got 45 minutes or I have a half an hour. I want you to tell me about what you do, where you want to be in real estate. Like, what's your goal? How long have you been in sub 2 and what is your goal? I'm going to do the same thing. And then let's see if we can collaborate. If not, let's connect each other to someone that we know we could collaborate with. So it's great making friends, but you have to be intentional on like what it is that you're looking for, because it's going to be a lot easier to find it. So right now it's like, okay, I'm a TC. What type of TC do you want to be? Okay, right now you're learning a lot about mobile home parks, maybe diving in and looking even more into like what that is. As my team grows, I'm going to need more people in all areas, because when Jill comes in, she's going to raise a lot of capital and they're going to need to have the deals to back it up. So, which means we're going to need more of everyone. So just kind of keeping this relationship, and I'm going to write your information down,
Yeah.
but I have yours, and you can text me. Like I put my number in the side chat.
Sure.
Um,
Yeah, I'd love to stay in touch. This is awesome. And I appreciate that. You're right. Being more intentional is absolutely key. Because I'm like, these all, you know, it's great that we're meeting so many awesome people. We want to be friends, but, you know, finding that balance of how much to help and how much to do business.
Yeah. Yeah. And in the beginning, I made a lot of friends, which was great. I'm also strategic on using the messenger on Facebook. I'm like, connect with me there. And then once I can tell we really could work together, then I'm like, okay, let's get on a call, or here's a text message, because we're all busy people. I'm a single mom that, you know, works around the clock. So I have to be careful with, I don't want to say who I talk to, but kind of being strategic with who's really going to help me get to the next level in my business.
Absolutely. Well, that's awesome. I will let Marissa go because I know we're pushing time, but thank you so much for helping me out with that. And I hope to stay in touch.
Yeah.
Marissa, super, super fast.
Yeah, Avita just opened the door, and Jill, you already started to talk about it. Can you comment a little bit more about how you stay intentional on follow-up, especially if maybe there wasn't an initial connection and a way that you can work together, but you want to keep that door open? Is it through Facebook?
Yep. I just follow each other on Facebook. If people aren't following up with me, I don't usually follow up with them unless it's a position or something I really need. Like if they have capital, like this week, I'm like harping my investors. I'm like, you got to wire your money, because I've got this Jewish crew that's flying in on Friday. They want to fund the whole thing. So let's go. And so, yeah, I just kind of keep track of people like in the side chat and really work with the people that I need right then. So it's like, what do you need right now? Keep that relationship growing. The other people, they can come and go, but what do you need right now? And what do you need to learn right now?
This was great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Jill, this has been amazing. I know that I have learned so much. And one of the things that I heard you say over and over that I just want to reiterate to everyone is that you tried a couple of things, but you really found your sweet spot about what you're great at, where your talents lie, where your strengths are. And you made the decision that you're not going to have to do all of the other things, because you're going to find those people and work with all of those people. And I think there's so many of us in this room, me included, that are like, I have to do it all. And once we realize that, like, we're not meant to do it all, we're meant to do what we're really great at, then we can go and do things like, I love what you said a minute ago. You're like, I'm going to go raise all of the money and I need the deals, right? And so I really appreciate you sticking to that and just knowing this is who I am, this is what I'm good at, and that's what I'm going to do. Any final words or thoughts that you have that you want to make sure that we all know?
Just keep making friends and don't stop. I did not expect this position to happen, but for months I was just like, I'm going to raise capital. I don't know how yet, but that's just what I want to do. So, you know, some of us want to do TC work. Just get really good at that one thing and a job opportunity will present itself. If you become a ninja at your one skill, at one thing, the doors will open. And tell people what you do.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, ladies, I have a couple of announcements and then we're going to end with with our wins. What has been going right? What has happened? So, a couple of announcements. One, we have a time change coming up. This doesn't impact anybody unless you live in Arizona. We will continue to be at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Mountain. Arizona, you figure out what time it is. We don't really know. And then 4 p.m. Pacific time. So everything is staying the exact same thing. If you are not a member of the Trailblazers Facebook group, I'm going to drop it in here. Please join that. Again, it is a safe space for female investors who are, wanting to know other female investors. I'm not trying to take away from any other community you're in. Absolutely stay and be in those communities, but know that this is a place where you can come and hang out and get to know other women. One more thing before we get into celebrations, and that is this Friday is International Women's Day. I am going to be doing a special get together, and we're going to be talking about how to overcome fear. How do you take your fear and turn it into fuel? This is a talk that I've given dozens and dozens of time, and I was just thinking, what better way than to say, let's get out of our own way. So that'll be at 11 o'clock Central on Friday. If you can join us, we would love to see you. Of course, we will record it. I will drop the recording for Jill and everything she did within Trailblazers in the morning. And now I want to hear, take yourself off mute. Tell us, what can we celebrate with you? Nothing too big, nothing too small. What has gone well for you? Where have you stepped out? Where have you done something uncomfortable? Maybe you did something scary. Maybe you just absolutely freaking crushed it. We want to celebrate with you. And of course, it doesn't have to be real estate related, but if it is, that's awesome. So go for it. Take it away and tell us what we can cheer you on for.
This is Cheryl. I signed up for the Elephant Challenge with Pace Morby because I keep hearing sub two, and I thought, I got to figure this out. So yeah, so I'm very proud that I did that. So I'm committed next week to take his Elephant Challenge and see where it takes me. So
that is awesome,
yeah.
lady. It's so funny that you say that. My husband Shane did the Elephant Challenge a year ago, and he got a text. They put you in groups, or at least they used to. And he got a text from his group today just saying, like, who's still in real estate? And I think out of the 8 or 9 of them in the group, there's still 4 or 5 that are still active and doing things. So it'll be great. I know a lot of people have done it, and it's just a good kick in the pants. Get your fire lit and going.
Yeah. Somebody from a sub 2 reached out to me. It was supposed to be a 10-minute call last Friday, and it was an hour and 20 minutes. So,
that is awesome.
Yeah, I got a lot of good
info. Keep us posted on how that goes.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Yeah. Who else? What are your wins? Go for it, Marissa.
I signed my first JV agreement to be a PMP. So we will see how it goes, and I'm going to need everyone's help.
Yes. What kind of project is it?
It's a wrap in Texas.
Okay.
Yeah. So
that is amazing. Keep us posted.
Let
us know if we can do anything for you. Get it, sis. How long is the project supposed to take?
So so this is
how long do I think they're gonna sell it?
Yeah, they're gonna hold it for probably an 8-year balloon is the plan. But so when the wrap buyer comes in and puts down 10%, I'd get partial back, and then of course when they half the cash flow, half the equity. So sounds good. Well, learning.
Yeah, that's a great way to do it. Caitlin, what can we celebrate with you?
So tomorrow I have a call with an investor who I've been talking with for like 3 weeks about being like a trial run as his operator. And he was gonna go with the TC team. And I was like, no. Like, you have to give me a try. You have to give me a try. And so he finally agreed. So I'm having a call with him tomorrow. And I'm hoping that it turns into something awesome. Because my goal is not really to TC a long time. It's to become an operator for a couple like really great investors. So I'm like, we'll see.
Get it, lady. That is awesome. I'm so proud of you for putting yourself out there. And I will say, as you were saying that, and as Jill said something, Ashley was talking a minute ago, it dawned on me. So my husband Shane owned a subcontracting business for 20 years until he sold it recently. And he had a couple of key builders that he wanted to work with. The thing about this business, construction, real estate, investing, it moves fast. So you have to keep knocking on the same door over and over, right? Jill might have a TC right now that she's using through Jason, but that could change in a month or two. And if you're continuing to build your relationship with Jill, if you're continuing to, like, whoever it is, if there's somebody that's on your dream list that you want to work with, they might say no right now, but that no might not be forever. So, Caitlin, kick ass tomorrow. Keep us posted. We will be cheering you on. Kimmy, tell us what we can celebrate with you.
I had my first successful seller walkthrough. I've never done that before as a TC, so that was awesome.
That's so cool. What did you learn? What were the ahas that you had?
Well, he just was like uncomfortable with all, because he's like a brand new sub 2 student and he was selling his house sub 2. So he like read the addendums and the acknowledgements and kind of like had a freak out moment of like, wait a minute, what? And so we talked about like other options if you wanted to like lease option it, or if you just wanted to rent it out and be a landlord. And he really liked the buyer that he was working with, who was another sub 2 student. And he texted me and was like, thank you so much. I so appreciate it. Like, I've decided that I'm going to put them in my house and maybe we might work together in the future. So it was awesome.
That is great. Congrats, Kimmy. That first one is down. It's just uphill from here, right?
Yes, ma'am.
I love it. Congrats.
Thanks.
Megan, tell us about the 97,000 things you've done since last Monday, because I know you've done at least 97,000.
So as I'm dressed up to go do some more serves tonight, I just got, I entered this meeting late because I was actually at a networking event here in Fort Dodge for women. They just started doing this. We're kind of working with Des Moines and it's called Spin Market. So they try to help women business owners. And so I kind of told them my tiny home idea with the park, and I've met a lot of people there who could help me with trying to bring tiny homes to Fort Dodge area, because the city here sucks trying to work with them. And apparently a lot of these ladies are powerful and they know how to talk to them. So they're like, we've got powerful women who know how to talk to the city. These guys who think they can own this town, they yeah. So I've met some other women who said they know how to get people to team up against them, and we can get this going, like this idea even in town, not just my trailer park. I can actually get the tiny home thing for handy-capable tiny homes. Like, there's a need for handicapped homes. And this idea kind of started last year when I talked to the engineering department here. They're like, oh yeah, there's going to be some rules about that one. They made it complicated. They kind of shut my idea down, basically. Like, they just made it too complicated. I'm like, okay, it would be cool, because there's a lot of people who came to me about, they brought the idea to me. And I'm like, there's a need for this, a handicapable home. Like, we can, wide doors and try to just have it one level accessibility. And if we can make that happen, there's actually tiny homes that are made for handicap, USA tiny homes or something. I can't remember, but this is a whole new other idea that I'm like, okay, cool. Now I have Greater Alliance, Growth Alliance here in Fort Dodge to talk with, and some new people to talk with. So now I might have a million more jobs to do. So yeah.
I freaking love it, Megan. Listen, we are going to follow this tiny home adventure, because if there's anything that I have learned about you, it is that when you put your mind to something, you are going to freaking figure out how to make it happen. I don't know, maybe we'll have like a Trailblazers meetup in Fort Dodge at the tiny home place to celebrate when you cut the ribbon. Congrats, my friend. Keep kicking ass on that. Keep keeping us updated. I think this is so cool. And maybe you'll figure out the model and we'll all be able to do it in our communities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for letting me speak.
Yeah, of course. All right. Who else? I know there's a lot of people tonight who are like, I'm not putting on my camera because I don't want to make eye contact with Katie. I will find you. I don't care. I'll still pick you out. Avita, tell us what we can celebrate with you.
I was like, I'll go. You don't have to pick me out. I kind of mentioned it when I was talking earlier, but that mobile home deal was my first deal as a TC. So that was super exciting, not only to just get a deal under my belt, but also it was one of those mobile homes are not like houses. So I felt like I learned a ton, and I was also able to see firsthand how much value I was able to provide the PML I was representing, because he's short on time and wanted to be protected and just didn't have time for all the things. So it was cool to be, I've got to work on, like we said earlier, delegating some of my stuff so I can keep going, but it was cool to be a go-to person for somebody and see that work out.
Love it. That is awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
One of the things that I'm super excited about this community is that we are all doing such different things. Like, we have not had any conversations about mobile home parks, and this call has been happening since last July. So, I mean, we're like 9-10 months, 8, I don't know. I'm not good at math. We've been doing these for a long time. It's the first time we've talked about this. And I will be honest, ladies, I didn't even think about this as an actual avenue. So I love that we are talking about that. Everyone is doing such different things. Anyone else have anything? Jada, tell us what's happening, lady.
Okay, so I had a closing 2 weeks ago. I had another closing last week. And then today I met a contractor at another project who actually lives in a tiny home, like 10 minutes away. So it's way on the other side of town for me. So it took, of course, an hour, because everything in Houston is an hour away. Like, Houston is an hour away from Houston, right? So, so I met him over there, but he lives in a tiny home, but he's also building pad splits. So here in Houston, so he's building ground up, but he's also doing renovation. So I'm like, oh my God. So I'm just hoping that we can make the numbers work with him, so that way he can be my go-to guy, like, for, building. So I'm like, oh my God, this could be like a beautiful thing.
That is awesome, lady.
Yes, thank you.
I love this idea of building pad splits, because some of the houses I've seen people turn into pad splits, I'm like, ugh. But that's fascinating.
Well, I'm thinking duplexes. Like, in my head, that's what I wanted, was a duplex. But now I'm kind of like, and I have never seen a pad split in person. So I'm kind of excited about, like, what that really looks like. And who knows, maybe that will be on the next thing on the agenda once I get this house, done and sold. But I'm excited about the opportunities of wherever it may go. So we're going to see.
Yeah, absolutely. When I think of pad splits that work, I think about college apartments that were very much built to be rented by the room. Like, I had some friends that rented those, and it is a very specific layout about how the rooms are and where things are, like where the bathrooms are. I love it. Well, congrats, Jada. Okay. I will say, I just have one. I want to thank every single one of you. So many people have reached out to me. I shared with you all months ago that we were having an RV built and we were going to take off and we were going to travel the whole country. And y'all, we decided like 8 days ago that was not going to happen. Of course, any of you, all of you who don't have W-2s understand that sometimes getting financing is a pain in the ass, because you look on paper like you have no money, even though you can afford it. And the RV place wanted like $60,000 down. And Shane and I just looked at each other and we're like, why would we do that? That's so we can put that into more projects. So we didn't do it. So we had 6 days to figure out where we were going. We're in Austin. We have no idea how long we're going to be here. We think maybe a month or two. If you're in Austin, if you want to come hang out in Austin, if you want to come, like, I would love that. But I just want to thank everyone for sending me well wishes and the messages, you got this. They really did keep me sane. And I'm super, super grateful for all of you. Okay. Friday, we'll do our special International Women's Day, 11 o'clock Central. I'll post that in the Trailblazers group, and I'll share it with as many other real estate investing groups as they will allow me. What else? I had one more thing. Can't remember what it was. Yeah, I guess it doesn't matter. Jill, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for pouring into us, answering all of our questions. This will be up on YouTube tomorrow morning. I'll tag you in it. If there's any other links that you want to send me, let me know. Otherwise, ladies, you are badasses. You are doing amazing things. You're changing your community. You are showing other women that they can be involved in real estate. And so no matter what comes your way this week, I just want you to remember that you can absolutely freaking do it. You can do hard things. You can overcome challenges. You can absolutely make the life that you have, the vision in your head, you can make that a reality. Kick ass this week. Hang out with us in the Facebook group. We'll see you back here both on Friday and next Monday. And next Monday, it is going to be all who, not how. We're going to be doing major connections. We will not have a speaker. It's just let's figure out what you're working on and who you need to know. And if we can't find them inside here, we're going to find them for you outside. All right. Have a kick-ass week, ladies. See you later.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Jill.